Hello, welcome in. Happy Monday, everybody. Hopefully, you guys had a good weekend. I did not have the best day yesterday. Khalil Shakir really let me down. Felt really, really good about him as a DFS play. I thought that when I came on the stream yesterday, I thought I would have a little bit of a different team than most people in cash because I had Shakir instead of like Jalen Waddle. And um, yeah, it ended up just being like a massive train. So that didn't work out. It was not a good lineup. Really kicking myself, honestly, because we were a week early on the Adonai Mitchell ladder and probably should have played him in like DFS cash too. Like, I just feel dumb the fact that I've been betting Adonai Mitchell so regularly, and then I, just missed out on the inevitable kind of big game that was coming. So that was like really unfortunate. I just felt like when I saw him catch that 50-yard touchdown, I was just kicking myself. It's like I've bet this the last how many weeks, and of course, you know what happens like the week that I don't bet it. Just super unfortunate there. But yeah, so we'll kind of go through game by game before we get into Monday Night Football. But overall, what wasn't the best day for me yesterday? I did have biggest bet of the season on the under 40 in the Browns and San Francisco game. Like I said on stream yesterday, I didn't get to give it out because by the time I had like taken it and like got home, it was down to 36.5. I still liked the under yesterday. It did go under, but I mean, that saved me. Obviously, that I had 4 units on that under, so that was pretty good. But other than that, yeah, it was kind of an uneventful Sunday slate, honestly. There was no good totals on any of those games. All the good games were on Thursday. So, nothing crazy went on yesterday. But we'll still talk through it. Ryan, is this okay? Can you tell me if this is Ryan that's asked me this question? Because YouTube changed everyone's names, and now I don't know who is who. But I saw, I forgot to answer, but I saw you ask me this in Discord, so I'm assuming this is Ryan. But you need 8.5 points tonight, Stevenson or Singletary. I mean, we'll get into kind of my thoughts on the game tonight, but if it were my team, back against the wall here, I'm down 8.5. I just got to get 8.5 points. I would feel better about Stevenson, I think. Yes, Ryan. Okay, that's what I thought. I don't know. Like, have you guys noticed this? So how the comments display? It used to just have like your name, but now it has like everyone's like at username. I don't know. It's confusing me because now I don't know who anybody is. But I would feel better about Stevenson, Ryan. I think he projects a little bit better. I think you have more outs with him. Like if the Patriots get down in the game, he can contribute in the passing game, even though Henderson can as well. And I know they've kind of been going to Henderson, but I just still don't trust New England to just go full-fledged there. I still feel like Stevenson is going to be a factor. So I think I'd feel a little bit better about Stevenson if I really needed it. All right. So as far as yesterday's games go, like I said, really wasn't anything crazy going on. What I really want to talk through, honestly, and I want to get some opinions from the chat if you guys have them. I feel very strongly that there is money to be made in the futures market at the current stance, because when I look at these teams and I look at the playoff picture right now, there's a lot of teams that I don't think are very good at the top of the list. I mean, honestly, And there's a lot of teams that I don't believe can win the Super Bowl at the top of the list. Now, I don't know if there's teams that can make them pay for that either. So I kind of want to talk through this. So if we just look at the overall standings right now in the AFC and in the NFC, you have the Broncos, Patriots, Jaguars, Ravens, Chargers, Colts, Bills. Those are our current playoff teams on the AFC. And then right on the bubble, so the Bills are at 8-4. Bills, Chargers, and Colts are all 8-4. That's as your wild card teams. You have the Texans there at 7-5, and then the Steelers and Chiefs at 6-6. Those are kind of the teams that are all in the mix. So just looking at those teams, like I don't think the Broncos are very good. I'm going to be honest with you. I just don't. They have an insanely good defense. I think that they've overperformed this season, which is going to be a common theme of all these teams I'm talking about. So I'm out on the Broncos, especially given that the Broncos are the favorite to win the AFC. I just don't trust it. So I'm out on them. I'm out on the Patriots. It's kind of the first iteration of them being good under Drake May, Mike Rabel's first year there. It's not often you see like a first-year head coach and a young quarterback like that go on and like win the Super Bowl instantly. Not first-year head coach, but first year with the team, I should say. And they've also benefited from a pretty easy schedule, I would say. So that kind of takes them out of the mix for me. And then we have this group of the Jags, Ravens, Chargers, Colts, Bills. The Chargers, I don't know what's going on with them. Their offensive line is banged up. Justin Herbert's having surgery on his non-throwing hand today, so I don't know. The Colts, I've told you guys, were frauds all season. They're starting to come crashing down now. With Daniel Jones injured, he's back to playing like Daniel Jones. I've shit on the Bills on this stream all season. I don't think the Bills are very good. So, the Ravens, I hate for selling me on Thanksgiving Day. I'm mad about them. And they're not even playing good either. Lamar's playing like garbage. So, as it currently stands, I still feel the best about the Chiefs. The Chiefs are better than all of these teams in the AFC. The problem is they may not even make the playoffs now because they've been messing around for too long. So if we play devil's advocate, if the Chiefs make the playoffs, I'm going to be betting on the Chiefs because I don't trust any of these other teams. If the Chiefs don't make the playoffs, who do we like? Does anyone in the chat have a pick? Because I'm going to tell you what, I floated the idea to my group chat on Friday. There was one team that I said maybe I could see being a sleeper, and they were pretty good odds. So they were 18-1 on Friday, and they're down to between 12 and 14-1 today. And when I say 18-1, that's to win the conference. They're like 13-1 on FanDuel right now. I think they're 14 on Bet365. When I checked, they were 18 on Friday. So if you're in the chat, let me know who you like to win the AFC currently. The reason why I think it's good to take someone at this number is because if you have a big ticket like that, so if you have someone between 12, 13, 14-1, whatever, to win the conference, if you can get that team in the playoffs and they win one playoff game, it is very, very easy to hedge that ticket, and you're going to make some money regardless. So, that's why I'm interested in taking some shots on some people here. I do think someone could sell me on the Bengals, but the problem is the Bengals have to win the rest of their games, and if they don't, they'll shut down Joe Burrow. You literally have no chance, no path to the playoffs other than the Bengals winning their division. So I think that's a little dicey, even at a massive number to take. So the team that I'm kind of interested in here is the Jacksonville Jaguars. I do not trust Trevor Lawrence whatsoever. But do you trust Bo Nix? I don't. Do you trust this young, Drake May, Patriots? Their offensive line's banged up now. They're missing Will Campbell. Do you trust? No. Do I trust Daniel Jones? No. Do I trust CJ Stroud? No. I don't know what is going on with CJ Stroud, but he sucks right now. So I have no idea what has happened to him after his rookie year. But yeah, I think the Jaguars are better than the Texans. And the Jags are in a spot now where they're in the division lead. They play the Colts twice down the stretch. They get another game against the Titans. Their defense, EPA per play, if we look at their defense, it's top 10 in the NFL. I like the moves they made at the deadline. Like Jacoby Myers is solid. They get Brian Thomas Jr. back from injury. He hasn't done anything, but he's still there. They have a playmaking tight end, Brenton Strange. They have two playmaking running backs in Travis Etienne and Bashal Tutin. And as much as I hate on, first of all, I said if Trevor Lawrence came through for us on that parlay early in the season, I would never speak bad on Trevor Lawrence. So I'm not allowed to speak bad on Trevor Lawrence. That being said, he has won a playoff game before, which I can't say about a lot of these guys that are in the mix in the AFC as it currently stands. So I think everyone's default pick right now in the AFC would have to be the Buffalo Bills because they're at least in a playoff spot. But I just do not think the Bills are good. Their defense is not what it was 2 or 3 years ago. They have no playmakers on offense. Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, Kincaid, they're trying to bring in Brandon Cooks. Like the bring in Brandon Cooks thing is the same thing as Amari Cooper, like where I just don't know if he has anything left. Like they have no playmakers. And Josh Allen, as much as I love him, cannot do everything by himself. You just can't. That's just not possible. So I'm lower on the Bills than consensus. So, other than taking the Chiefs again, which I have way too much Chiefs exposure. And we don't even know if they're making the playoffs. So it's just like a pass for me. I think the Jaguars 13-1 to win the AFC might be the most interesting pick for me as it currently stands. Good defense, an offense that I feel like from a scheme perspective, I like Liam Cohen better than most of these AFC coaches. And I think they can play games running the ball, and I think they can play games not running the ball. I do think they're adaptable kind of matchup-wise based off who they're facing. So I'm a little – and like the Jags have quality wins this season. Like they beat the Chiefs earlier this season. They beat the Chargers earlier this season. They did lose to the Texans the last time they faced them, but it was a close game, 36-29, and they beat the Texans early in the season. So 1-1 against the Texans. They beat the Niners. They have a close loss to the Seahawks, 20-12. But a really quality win over the Chargers, really quality win over the Chiefs. And honestly, like at the time, I don't think it was that quality of a win, but they beat the Panthers as well. Like, it's just like thinking things through. Do I think the Jaguars are going to win the AFC? Not really. But do I think the Jaguars should be 13-1 and some of these other teams 4-1? Not really. I don't think the gap between these teams is that big. Even the Chargers are above them right now with all the injury stuff that the Chargers have going on. Like I trust the Jaguars more, and the Chargers lost to them earlier this season. So I think the best number is the Jaguars right now. So I'm probably going to fire on that. If I do, I'll post it later. But that's my thoughts on the AFC. I think it's wide open. It's as wide open as it's ever been. If the Chiefs can somehow get in the playoffs, I still feel very confident in them getting back to the Super Bowl. But if we run into this scenario where the Chiefs messed around for too long and they don't get in the playoffs, I like the Jaguars at these long odds to potentially make a run. And if we can get them in the playoffs and they win a playoff game, wild card weekend or whatever, you can hedge that 13-1 ticket pretty easily and make some money. On the NFC side, I have a team I like a lot as well. So you have the Rams. If we just look at the standings in the NFC, Bears number 1, fraudulent team I don't like. Rams, they're good. Eagles, you guys know I'm an Eagles fan, Jalen Hurts fan. They're not winning anything with Kevin Patullo calling plays, and they have decided, I just saw the report, they're keeping him calling plays, so scratch the Eagles off. Buccaneers, I don't trust either. So I'm taking out the Bucs, I'm taking out the Eagles, I'm taking out the Bears. That leaves you with the Rams. The Seahawks are good. but don't trust Sam Darnold. So they're a step below the Rams for me. They're a step below the Packers for me. I like the Packers a lot, honestly, how they stack up. They're 5-1 to win the NFC. We have a preseason Super Bowl future on them. They are plus 950. You could probably find a 10-1 on them to win the Super Bowl. I still like Green Bay at 10-1. Like the fact that Green Bay is below Seattle in Super Bowl odds is just, yeah, I'd much rather bet on the Packers. So I like the Packers a lot in the NFC. 49ers, okay, but their defense is just too thin. It's not good enough right now. They have no pass rush to speak of. So I don't see how they could go on a deep playoff run. Then when we look at these bubble teams, you have the Lions there. I don't know if the Lions are going to make the playoffs, honestly. Like, thought they were getting a boost on the offensive line with Ragnow coming back. He's not coming back now. They have really serious offensive line on the interior issues. So I'd be willing to scratch them off. Panthers have a path to win that division. We have preseason futures on them to make the playoffs and to win the division. So I'm definitely a big Panthers fan the rest of the way here to try and salvage some money from the futures that we put in. I like the Dallas Cowboys quite a bit. So you can get them. When I looked at this last Friday, they were plus 250 or plus 260. Yeah, they're plus 265 currently to make the playoffs. So I will be putting in Dallas Cowboys to make the playoffs. If you want to put them, to win the NFC, you're getting 18-1 on them. I would still be pretty firm on the Packers are going to be my favorite team, I think, going into the NFC playoffs, but you're getting a really good number on Dallas. Even if you want to sprinkle on them to win this division, they're plus 650, I trust Dallas more than Philly the rest of the way. I really do. So Cowboys plus 250 to make the playoffs is going to go into my futures portfolio. I've talked about it on stream the last few weeks, how their defense is not good, but it's significantly better than it was early on in the season with the moves that they made and the guys that they've got back from injury. And when we look at, if we extrapolate out, let's just look at all the teams in the NFL. What team is playing well and looks good right now? What team is playing well and looks good doing it? You could say the Rams, even though they lost yesterday. The Cowboys look the best of any team right now. They are hot at the right time. And if we look at the Cowboys' rest of season schedule, they have a huge game this week. They play Detroit, who is tied with them in the standings there for the wild card spot. So they're field goal underdogs to the Lions on Thursday night, indoors, where I definitely think the Cowboys are live to win that game. And then the Cowboys are going to be favored in the rest of their games. They play the Vikings at home next Sunday night. They play the Chargers at home on December 21st. They play the Commanders, and then they play the Giants. So we're in a spot where the Cowboys could easily win 4 of their last 5 games, get in the playoffs. And as much as the Cowboys choke and we make fun of the Cowboys, I don't really think anybody wants to go up against Dak Prescott and George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb in the playoffs. I don't think they do. So right now, Chiefs and the Jags are my favorite teams in the AFC if we're looking at long-term future stuff. And Packers and Cowboys are my favorite in the NFC. So I'm going to be putting in some futures after tonight and, seeing if we can get some sweats going into the last 5 weeks of the regular season here. Other things that stuck out from yesterday. Somehow Max Brosnan was worse than J.J. McCarthy. I didn't really think that was possible, but it was yesterday. Justin Jefferson, I feel bad for him. Yeah, I mean, that's it. Honestly, kind of a boring day yesterday, to be honest. So let's kind of shift gears. If you guys have questions on anything, go ahead and ask. Let's get into this game tonight. We have Giants at Patriots. Patriots are -7, -7.5, depending on where you look. I like a side in this game, and it is the New York Giants. I think the New York Giants can win this football game outright, so I like them to cover that 7.5. You can still get a 7.5 on FanDuel. It's just -120. It's juiced. Everywhere else is pretty much 7. Yeah. I guess DraftKings still has -127.5 too, but I like the Giants to cover this. I think it's going to be a close game. I think they can win outright. I honestly probably going to sprinkle a little bit on the money line as well. So the Patriots, like I said, I don't know. I'm in between on this Patriots team. They're going to be down Will Campbell, which I think is really, really important for them against this Giants pass rush. Giants have one of the best pass rushers in all of football. So I do think this is a tall task for the Patriots offensive line tonight. I do think the Giants, I think they can get pressure on Drake May. They have Jackson Dart back at quarterback. Even if they don't win outright, I think this will be a one-possession game late in the fourth quarter. So I'm going to take the 7.5 with the road team there. I like the Giants to cover, and I like sprinkles on the money line at 3-1. From a prop perspective, I'm going to be firing on a Giants touchdown score just because I think they can outperform expectations. And if we look at the touchdown odds for tonight, the top 4 in odds are all Patriots. Trevion Henderson -110, Diggs is +115, Hunter Henry's 2-1, and Ramondre Stevenson is 2-1. Those are all provided via FanDuel there. I like Isaiah Hodgins. He is 5-1 anytime, 27-1 first touchdown. Isaiah Hodgins has legitimately been good pretty much anytime he's ever got extended run. And that's dating back to like when they had Daniel Jones. He's pretty good when he fills in. He hasn't got the chance to play with Jackson Dart yet. So I want to see kind of how they match up. Is there a chance that he, doesn't get targeted as much as I think? Definitely. But the usage has been there. The routes have been there for Isaiah Hodgins. He scored a touchdown last week. I don't really think he should be 5-1 when someone like Darius Slayton is 3-1. So I like Isaiah Hodgins anytime touchdown and first touchdown sprinkled tonight. I also think you can make the case for either Jackson Dart to run one in, although I think the Patriots kind of know that, so they'll be watching for it. But, I mean, he's done it quite often. And then Theo Johnson has been very, very good without Malik Neighbors. He also leads the team in red zone targets. He leads the team in end zone targets. The Patriots have been pretty vulnerable, honestly, if you look at fantasy points allowed and some of the receiving stuff against tight ends. So anyone betting Theo Johnson tonight, I could certainly see you make a case for that as well. But I'm going to play heavy Giants in DFS. I think building some, Jackson Dart kind of centered teams, whether it be a Giants receiver at captain or like a heavier Giants instead of going heavy Patriots, flip it, play 4 Giants or something. I'm going to be heavy on the Giants in DFS. I am going to be betting the Giants to cover and win outright. So that's my thoughts on the game tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any further questions, you can reach me in the Rolling Insights Discord. That is free to get in that Discord. If you don't have access to the link, just DM me and I will toss you in there. Good luck tonight if you're betting or playing DFS. I will be live tomorrow at 4 p.m. We will recap today, talk about tomorrow. Maybe we'll dive into some NBA stuff tomorrow. We haven't got a chance to talk a lot of NBA on the stream. And there'll be a bunch of college basketball games tomorrow night too. So maybe we'll kind of do a little ease into that stuff tomorrow and go from there. But yeah, overall, thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see everybody tomorrow.